Believe in Everything Auburn is brought to you by Bet Online, your number one source for the NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Finals, you name it, all season. Every stat, every matchup, even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action and use promo code BELIEVE for a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That code is BLEAV for a 50% welcome deposit. Bet online, where the game starts. War Eagle, everybody. Welcome back to Believe in Everything Auburn. I'm Taylor Davis. He's Jason Campbell. You may not remember us because it's been quite a while since we've done an episode, and I will take full ownership of that because I said on the last episode that I had been working too much the past year, and they put the kibosh on me going to Omaha. But then I found my way to Omaha. So I did, in fact, work the College World Series right after working the Women's College World Series. Jay also had a vacation down at the beach where he saw plenty of sharks. So there's just been a lot happening, y'all. But that is summer in a nutshell. But we're back and ready to catch up and shoot the breeze and just kind of talk about whatever the heck's going on. I am so freaking tired. Like, I can't even explain how exhausted I am. Those trips back to back are grueling. So hang with me. If I say any dumb things, it wouldn't be the first time, but give me some grace. So Jay's going to drive the ship today, and I look forward to that when it happens.
Yeah, I'm driving the ship, and I'm about 4.5 hours of sleep over here on average. Baby Jayla just sometimes is in sleep regression right now.
Still, the regression phase.
Through the
Ooh,
night.
buddy.
So,
I act like I know.
making me get up, and you got friends and stuff. You'll
I
find
do. I hear about it.
Yeah, so it's real. So
Okay.
get as much sleep as you possibly can now.
I do.
But it was yes, entertaining. So went down to Florida for vacation for a week.
Yeah.
And of course, sharks are in the water.
In freaking 30A.
Of course, the sharks are in the water. Everybody gonna say, "Dude, sharks in the water." That's not what I'm trying to say. Sharks was at the shore of the water. Put it that way. They come to so where you usually think, "Hey, I can just put my feet in the water, up to knee high."
Yeah.
I usually go out there to neck high, but after I heard about the shark attacks and I saw two myself sitting on the beach, I was just like, "Oh!" And then people's in the water, and they have these flags up to tell you not to get in the water, but people still got in the water. And then there's sharks just coming right towards them, and you're trying to wave for people to get out of the water because, like, hey, just the day before you just saw what happened, and everything. So interesting or not, didn't get a chance to get my tan like I normally do. Didn't get a chance to get the water up to my neck. It came up to my ankles. I'm one of the ones that was like on alert, like just.
How could you not be? I don't get how people are so flippant about that.
Sharks are faster than me in the water, and even if you're at your knee, they was coming up that close.
That's insane.
So, it was kind of surreal, and you could tell like the beach was kind of like not as packed as normal.
Yeah.
Because of that, but interesting enough. It still was a great. I know my words are tongue tied today because I haven't had much sleep.
We're short circuiting today. I don't know.
Episode. I can't even say interesting.
Interestingly.
See, I can't even say it today. I'm so sleep deprived. And have you ever had a dumb moment where you
take your pick.
You rent an Airbnb out, right?
Okay.
And nice house, really nice house.
Yeah.
Close to the beach. And the first day there, we don't go to the beach. The next day we go to the beach, and I'm out there looking for chairs and an umbrella to rent. So dude finds me, say, "Hey bro, give me cash. I can give you 2 umbrellas and 2 chairs immediately." I said, "Say no more, bro. Here's the cash." Bam. Like, so with the right.
No.
Bam.
Oh no.
Enjoy the beach. And then on the last day, we're there for 7 days. On the last day, I see a storage key hanging on the wall by the front door.
Yep.
And I said, this better not be what I think it is. So I grab the storage key and go to the storage. Voila, there's my umbrellas, there's my beach
Chairs.
chairs, there's the wagon to pull the stuff down to the beach in.
Yeah.
And I find this on the last day when I'm getting ready to what? Load the truck up and leave. So
Oh, Jay.
that moment. I should have read more of the email when we rented a place. So that's my dumb moment for last week.
Well, I do have literally so many of them. I forget often how dumb I can be sometimes. That one I would have told you though. I would have said most beach houses come with chairs and umbrellas.
I was
So
going with the bikes. That's all I worry about. The bikes.
the
And
bikes, did you use the bikes?
yeah, I use the bikes. That's
Okay,
all I
good.
was worried about. I did not think about the umbrellas. And
I guess in a way though, you paid for not having to carry it all down there. Like lugging umbrellas and chairs are kind of annoying.
we had a wagon.
I'm just trying to help.
I'm admitting I had a dumb moment. That was my dumb moment last week. I had one.
Dang, man. Well, y'all need a redo of your vacation apparently because it definitely sounds like it could have been better. But the summer is young. Weirdly enough, today is the first official day of summer, which, like in my mind, summer starts in May. Summer starts like mid-May, I guess, because that's always when I got out of school growing up.
Started after Memorial Day weekend. Honestly,
Okay,
it's
so
so hot.
like beginning of June.
Yeah, because it's so hot. Because that's when the pool opens. It's Memorial
Yeah.
Day weekend. I always thought, okay, summer's here.
Yeah, and I never thought of August as summer growing up because we always went back to school like pretty early August. So to me, summer was May, June, July, and then August was the beginning of fall. And now in adulthood, everyone's like after Labor Day is the beginning of fall. But
So
that's just not how my brain works.
let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Why doesn't anyone say autumn? Everyone always says
Uses
spring,
fall.
summer, fall, winter. But
Yeah.
autumn is in there. But no one
Autumn and fall are synonyms, and for some reason, fall was more dominant. I don't know. It's just easier.
yeah, I always wonder, if I was gonna take a quiz, I want to make sure I get it
Well,
100% correct.
do you say dinner or supper?
Oh, I say dinner.
Me too.
Only time I say supper was the Lord's Supper that he had at the
Fair.
table.
Yeah,
But,
he'd be doing that. What about living room or den?
growing up in the country, well, yeah, growing up in the country, we said den,
Same.
but then, but we said both because we said living room a lot as well.
Hmm. We
Now,
only said den.
now we say definitely living room
Oh, really? It's changed for you?
because they're separate now. You know what I'm saying? Because back in the
Do you
day,
have a den and a living room?
you didn't have a big house,
All
right?
right. Well, when I'm rich like you one day, maybe I'll have both. But right now, it's a den.
So yeah, you say living room, your living room, and then you say your den. So
Okay.
one of
What's
them,
the difference?
one of them typically has a TV in it,
Which
and
one?
one kind of sits at. It's the closest one to the kitchen.
But is
And,
that the living room or the den?
well, I call that the living room.
Okay.
Then the den is considered away from the living room, and it has no TV. You usually have paintings, art, and everything in there. But all
Okay.
depending on if you're at a sports house. If you're at a sports house, it's going to be a TV in the living room and a TV in the den because
Right.
you want to watch two different things at one time if you're sitting in the middle.
Okay.
So that's the difference. But if you're at home and you're a one level house and it's usually called the living room.
Interesting. Yeah, we always called it a den. And then we had another room that was similar. And to this day, now it's basically like a second living room. But growing up, it was the playroom because it's where like all of our toys and like dress up clothes and whatever. And then when I was like in high school, we made it like cool and put like a plasma screen on the wall and got a ping pong table. So it was still the playroom.
Yeah.
But now it's literally couches, TV, like it is a living room, but we still call it playroom. Like you can't change that once it's done that. Okay, while we're on the topic of words, y'all, I don't know where this episode's going to go. Just to be clear, what do you call the thing in the grocery store that you put everything in?
A buggy.
Okay. Do you know in all the cities I have lived in, Charlotte, Kansas City, Nashville. I have gotten the most crap from people about that one term. Like, it annoys so many people. And I like,
Grocery cart.
or yeah, grocery cart, I guess, or the cart, or I don't freaking know, but it like triggers people when I say buggy. And
Yeah,
it just, I think it's the cuter option.
yeah. I just say buggy.
Yeah.
And like some people say lawn or you say yard.
Well, I say yard for like the area, but lawn is like the grass. Is that right?
Well, I just tell people, when they say, "Hey, we're gonna cut your grass." Back in the day, we say "cut your grass." Now people
Right.
say
Cut your
"lawn
lawn.
care," cut your lawn.
Lawn care,
Yeah.
yard work. It's both.
All right. So
This is not good.
tomato, tomato.
Um, this is not good promotion for Auburn as an educational institution. We sound like morons today, but we'll
No,
blame it on the no sleep, okay?
just show people that
Um,
we're real. Like we're authentic.
and funny. Don't you forget funny. Um, but let's talk about why I'm tired, because the College World Series, which is still in the midst of happening, I just went to work the first week. The championship series is set. And once again, it will be an SEC school that walks away with the title for the fifth consecutive year. And it will be a different school. So, past five champions have been, well, including this year, the five champions will all have been from the SEC, and they've all been different, which I think is really cool. So now this year it will either be Tennessee or Texas A&M, and both of them kind of got there differently. Texas A&M really put an emphasis on pitching this year, and Coach Schlossnagle, I mean, he's been, I forgot how many times lately with different schools. Like, this man knows what he's doing, and their emphasis this year was the pitching staff, and boy, have they been effective in Omaha. And then Tennessee, this like high-powered offense, incredible defensive plays. So I think it's going to be a really compelling championship series between the two of them. And baseball is truly the SEC's game in the past decade.
Yeah, it's crazy how you get to a championship though. Like I always tell everybody, you have to have that one game
Mm-hmm.
that it can totally go against you, but if it goes right for you, it's the game that
It
leads you to
sparks.
the championship.
Yeah.
And both of these teams had their games in the World Series, in
Mm-hmm.
College World Series. I watched the Tennessee game, and Florida State had them, 11-9, bottom of the ninth, and what happened with two outs, so you just need one out,
Yeah. There was
and
also a pretty controversial call in that one that people,
whether the backs came across the plate or not.
yeah, everywhere, just like that. Everywhere we went after that, people wanted to talk about that, except Tennessee. Obviously, Tennessee was like, okay, let's just let it go. But I was at that game, and a swing is a swing, and that was a swing.
Yeah, but I'm guessing, is that not reviewable?
I don't know. I don't know.
The umpire behind third baseline was the one that got to call it.
Right.
So he's looking and he said, no, it didn't come all the way across the plate.
I guess those aren't,
So,
or maybe Florida State was out of reviews.
right. I thought they was reviewable, but I guess they must have been out of review, so they couldn't review it.
The thing with stuff like that is the same way that we can't blame a kicker for a missed field goal as the reason you lost the game. You shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with. Earlier in the game, they had a 9-4 lead on Tennessee. Like, this thing was theirs to begin with. So you shouldn't have allowed it to get this close to begin with, to where a call or non-call like that is the determining factor. Was it huge? Yes, but you shouldn't have even been in that position.
Florida State's had a rough year, sports wise. Football team goes undefeated, get left out of the national championship,
True.
playoffs, and then the baseball team makes it all the way, and you're almost one out away from being where you want to be, and couldn't close the deal.
Yeah, that one stung for sure. But good for the SEC, obviously. And Tennessee is a team that, it's surprising. Tennessee and Texas A&M have had such prestigious baseball programs for so long. They've had incredible players, incredible coaches, but neither of them have won a title ever in program history. And it's crazy. They've been kind of synonymous with elite baseball. and have never gotten it done, which is also just a testament to how freaking hard the series is and postseason in general for baseball. Like it's a gauntlet. So I'm excited to see how that one ends up. Game 1 will be Saturday night, game 2 on Sunday, and game 3, if necessary, on Monday. Best 2 out of 3 out of that. But the SEC had half of the field, which is also becoming pretty typical. We had 4 teams that made it to Omaha in Tennessee, Texas A&M, Kentucky, and Florida. Florida was certainly not expected to get there. Their regular season was very, very underwhelming, especially for their, history. But they made it to Omaha, made a great run. They lost last night to Texas A&M, but guys like Jack Caglione will certainly go down in college baseball history. So plenty to be proud of there. Brandon Neely on the mound had a great series. So kudos to them. And I just want to talk about Kentucky. If there's one reason that we did an episode today, it's because I want to talk about Kentucky baseball. I've been doing this job. I've been with ESPN for 10 years. Fun fact, my 10-year anniversary is this August, which is mind-blowing. Thank you, Jay. But I've been doing this side, the reporter role, for 6 years. Variety of sports, variety of capacities. I don't think I've ever been around a team and a coach, like the two combined, and had more fun and been more just impressed with their character and how they treated people and how much gratitude they all still had in the midst of success. Like, yeah, I've been around some fun teams that were losing. So it was like the pressure was off. But this team and this coach, they made history. They defeated so many odds. They're on the biggest stage in college baseball. Their first win was a walk-off. Like, they're on top of the world right now. And I was never around anyone who was not smiling and not, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, thank you, please. They were like loving on each other, loving on other teams. I've never been more impressed with the character piece than I was of Kentucky baseball. So I just want to put out there, like, this team is not going anywhere. This program is not going anywhere. And Nick Mingione did an incredible job with that program specifically this year.
Well, they interviewed Nick Mingione on TV when I was watching their game, and they interviewed the pitcher. And while he was doing the interview, they were still players, his teammates were putting stuff on the top of his head. He's in the middle of ESPN interview, and they're just stashing stuff on his head, walking by and making noises and stuff. So you can tell that their team knows how to, one, have fun and still be engaged. It wasn't a distraction, as their pitcher said. He said, look, we want to change who we are because we're at the College World Series. Like, we want to continue to do the things that we've been doing all year to get us here. And that's exactly what they did. Like, they're in the College World Series and they're still doing the same things they did all year long. And I think sometimes teams try to change because the moment gets bigger. No, you don't change what you've done. Like, let the moment take care of itself. And I just think that they've done an exceptional job because they didn't trend away from what got them there.
Yeah, so just wanted to give that little peek behind the curtain that Kentucky baseball was as nice and fun as advertised. It wasn't a front. And I really had a blast covering that team. I had a blast covering all of them. And that's the thing about Omaha and maybe just baseball in general. Like, obviously there is intensity and there is pressure, but there's a certain amount of joy and like fun and personality that they're allowed to showcase a little bit more in baseball because the games are so long. I mean, it's America's greatest pastime. That's like what it's known for, because it is more of a slower pace. There's more time for you to just kind of like kick back and laugh and whatever. And so it's a really fun event. I tell people all the time, like, if you get the opportunity to go to the College World Series in Omaha, take it. If Auburn is back, we are going. We have already established that. I've never been to a Final Four, so I can't compare it to that, but I have been to a lot of really special events, and Omaha is always at the top of my list just for the experience factor.
Yeah, like, I'll go. I just want to sit and watch some games and eat peanuts.
There you go. You can't beat it. Some sunflower seeds.
I used to be that guy in the field, in the outfield, spitting out something. Please. And then
why does that surprise me none?
I was a pitcher. and I was a shortstop, and I was a first baseman. So
Oh my.
I used to play baseball a lot growing up. So
Yeah.
I know the game, tremendously.
So
Uh,
fun.
yeah, so much fun. So I look forward to watching the College World Series this weekend. The
Yeah.
finale should be fun, exciting. I just hope it's not as hot there as it is here.
It was hot.
So,
It was very hot. Do you
that.
want to pick?
Oh, I'm gonna go with Tennessee.
I am as well.
Yeah,
Which the number one ranked team never wins, but I think they're going to do it this year.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Tennessee. Well, they
Yep.
have the most pressure. Everybody had Tennessee penciled in to make it to the championship game and to win it.
And to win it, yeah.
So you're carrying a little bit more pressure from the standpoint of we got to complete the run.
That's true.
And so being in those shoes before, like we got one game left to finish undefeated, and you're playing a really good opponent, but it has nothing to lose and everything to gain if they beat you, and you're playing more safe and they're playing more loose. It's a tough game to prepare for, and so at this point in stage though, man, like what's going to happen is going to happen. It's kind of same thing that happened in the NBA Finals. Boston had all the pressure on them because everybody had Boston picked as the best team all year. And when they needed it most, the best team actually won. So they won. So for Tennessee, if you are the best team, just play your game and you're going to win.
I totally agree. What were your thoughts on the NBA Finals? Truthfully, I didn't get to watch a whole lot of it.
Yeah, Boston's loaded. Like
They are.
it was really good to see Boston win because it makes things. We live in a world where everyone wants to pin who's the GOAT or who's the best player on the team and who's the go-to guy. Boston had a lot of those guys where everyone wanted to, make Tatum the star player, but then Jaylen Brown is the one that's balling out of control, and both of those guys didn't let the media kind of deter them because some of the national media was just like, well, I think Jalen's the best player on the team, or I think Tatum's the best player on the team. Well, I'm just like, does it really matter? They playing on the same team. They're playing for a championship. At the end of the day, winning a championship is all that matters. So it was good to see a team that's about team win. It wasn't about an individual. When you look at Dallas, they try to make everything about Luka and Kyrie. And I'm just like, okay, Luka and Kyrie didn't even show up in game 5. All the other guys did show up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, if you make it more about the team and so much not about individuals, you want to go individual, go play tennis, go play golf. You know what I'm saying? Like, go do these sports that's individualized, but if you're going to play in a team and be part of a team, then let it be about the team because that's when you're going to have the most success. But money is the driving of all these things, and people want to pin who's this and that because why? More ratings, more money, all that type of stuff. So it was good to see Boston win and with a young coach, and his shirt was awesome.
I loved it.
Like,
cool.
Giving credit to where credit's supposed to begin with in the first place.
Yep.
And for him to win a championship at Boston at 34 years old, as a head coach with all the pressure of this franchise.
No kidding.
History, they now won more than the Lakers. But I have to say this: I'm a Lakers fan, but not since 2000. The Lakers, in my era, the Lakers have won more than Boston.
Yes.
But overall, over time, Boston now breaks the record.
There you go.
Warriors have been my team for the last 10 years.
Okay.
And we got ways to go. So, But
big flip flopper. No big deal. So
no, not a flip flopper. I was a Jordan guy when Jordan was playing. I was always the Bulls. I was Kobe guy when Kobe was playing.
So it's more about the player,
right,
than the franchise.
And then I went on the Steph ride.
Hard not to.
Yeah, I've been a Steph fan. Been pulling for the Warriors because I played for Oakland. When I played for Oakland, the Warriors played right beside us.
Right.
So I go to the Warriors game, so it just kind of got engaged, or just kind of just right into my head. So, I've just been, So when the Warriors and Lakers play nowadays,
what do you do?
I go for the Warriors.
Okay.
But when the Lakers are not playing the Warriors, then Lakers.
Then you're a Lakers fan. Okay. You mentioned golf. also happened to pay
Oh,
attention a little bit there. Bryson DeChambeau won the U.S. Open at Pinehurst in North Carolina, which apparently that course was given everyone fits. It came down to the very end between him and Rory, and he was able to get the win. A very emotional Bryson DeChambeau. This guy's kind of a little bit polarizing. I love him and really enjoy he brought a different air to golf, and golf had been kind of cookie cutter a little bit, and I think there's been a little bit more personality, maybe even a little more drama in golf in the past few years, but nonetheless, huge congrats to him, a guy that has certainly started to rise in the ranks of the
yes,
greats.
yes. So, me, I watch all sports, right? So I'm watching this thing. It's just unfolding. I'm just looking at it like, okay, Roy, you got a 4-foot putt.
Yeah, man.
He makes it, puts pressure on DeChambeau, probably go to overtime. Everybody wants to see that, right? So everybody wants to see these two go head to head
Yeah.
in an overtime match. And when he hit that putt and that thing just curved on him right to the right, I was
I
just like,
mean,
but then when DeChambeau got stuck underneath the tree, and it took him about 30 minutes before he decided to swing the club,
yeah.
but practice swinging, practice swinging, practice swinging. I was just like, dude, I'm about to cut the TV off. Like, hit the ball. You know what I'm saying? So then,
That is fair.
right. So he finally hits the ball, goes in the trap. So he in the sand trap. This is about 40 to 50-foot shot to get to the hole, to the pin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, he's got to get up and down to make par to win this thing. If he gets bogey, it's overtime.
Yeah.
Had to hit the shot of his career. Right after sand
Yeah,
trap,
I agreed.
ball rolls up there 4 feet away from the pin, tap in, wins it. Like,
Pretty electric.
that made his year.
Yeah. Life, possibly. Like that's incredible. You'll remember that moment forever. And Rory's had some stuff going on lately. So he has said that he is stepping away for a little bit and taking some time to himself, which I think is probably necessary. Let some of the crap die down. But huge congrats to Bryson. I actually saw a video today of him here in Nashville. I don't know why, but he was literally on Broadway with the cup. I'm like, has that thing left his hand? If I risky taking that to Broadway, might I add, but let the man have his fun.
So does he live?
What?
He lives in Nashville.
I don't know if he does. I need to find out though.
Oh, I thought he got a girlfriend, right?
Does he?
Yeah, the one that was
Damn.
they posted pictures of her all. Every time a golfer wins, they want to go straight to the wife or the girlfriend.
Yeah.
What they're looking like. So, things like I said. But anyways,
Hey, we'll give it time. We'll give it time.
on a side note, to all our listeners, Matthew Stafford's wife came out and said she dated his backup
backup.
quarterback to make him jealous.
Iconic.
So, do women date someone else intentionally, trying to actually get to the other person that they really want?
No. First of all, that happened when they were in college. We all were doing petty stuff when we were in college. Adult dating, I don't think so. Now, I think that you would flirt with someone to intentionally make someone else jealous because men are predictable as frick. Y'all's egos are so dang big. And just like Kelly said, she knew it was going to work. And it did. And now they're married. So, like, just to get, you think you don't want a girl, you think you're too good for it, whatever. And then the second you see her move on, you're like, wait a minute, I'm not letting this happen. And that's what happened. So I've never dated someone to make someone jealous, but like flirted with or maybe go out on a date with, perhaps.
Well, see, that's a line. That's a thin line between winning and losing.
Mm-hmm.
She took a gamble,
She did.
a
But they were in college.
$400 million gamble, because Stafford, if he completes his contract, he's been made over $400 million in his football career.
Yes.
Outside of endorsements. And she's awesome for him. They're great together. But there are some guys that say, hey,
I'm not doing that game. It's playing games.
right. It backfired on you.
But in college, everybody was doing that crap.
I didn't date someone to make someone jealous.
But he was also just trying to keep her in, like, the casual. She said on the podcast, like, "I wanted us to be serious and committed, and he was keeping
But
me at arm's length."
she said, okay, to get you to
She
be
said,
serious,
"Fine, then I'll go date someone else." She
let me
just
go.
happened to pick one that she thought would ruffle his feathers a little bit.
Dang, you the backup quarterback. You got to feel even worse. Not
Used.
once you're backing up, so you're not starting, and then two, you get used as a backup
By the
again. You get used as a
dang!
backup plan.
That is so true. Oh,
Well, I tell you what, I didn't do that. I know a girl did that to me when I was in high school.
damn.
Yeah,
In
and I
high school, like, we were all just petty kids.
yeah, and I was in high school, and then when I got to college, I knew girls would like me, but you know, I was a serial dater.
Were
Yeah,
you?
yeah, I was a
In high school or college?
my whole life. So so when I'm dating, I'm dating. So when I'm dating, I may have 2, 3, 4 people I'm conversating with and just go out on casual dates and stuff. But when I say, hey, we're an item
We're
or
exclusive.
I'm a serial dater. So all my friends always gave me flack. All my friend girls gave me flack back in the day. And my wife throws it up in my face sometimes now. You will always communicate with everybody,
Okay.
all your friend girls and everybody, and go out to eat with us and have fun. But as soon as your butt get in a relationship, it's almost like you cut the lines with everybody. Like,
Okay, that's not a serial dater. A serial dater is one that's, like, dating a lot. You mean, like, you were a very committed dater.
yeah, committed
Like,
dater.
whenever you were in a relationship, like, that was your focus. That was your priority. Okay, got it. Now
All
when
friend
you
girls, everything shut off. So
this is where terminology gets weird because, nowadays, the phase of, like, hanging out with someone, you've expressed that you're romantically interested, but you're not shutting off the potential of other people just yet. That phase is called talking, like, you're in the talking phase. We're just talking. And then when you're official with somebody, that's when you're dating.
so who makes it official? Who's the person? Is it the woman? Is it the guy? Like, how do you make it
Over
official?
my dead body, am I going to be like, "Are we exclusive yet?"
How do you
No.
how do you make it official?
The
So
man should say, like, I broach the subject of, like, I no longer wanna see anyone else and would love to be exclusive.
what if she says no?
Well, then he has the decision. You continue to be in the talking phase or you bounce.
See, we raised my nephew right. See, so he was friends with this girl when they was little. Then he moved to Atlanta, and then she was back from where they was from. So they go on. She graduated high school. He graduated high school. They're both going to college. One's going to Auburn. One's going to Mississippi State.
Okay.
And they chose to go on family vacations together. And at that point in time, he was going to ask her to be his girlfriend,
But they were just friends?
and they were just friends.
Okay. How'd
I
that
was
go over?
Bro, what are you doing? I was just like, at first, I was like, I was like,
Oh my
"You
gosh.
gonna go to college, like
Yeah.
you can be focused. Like you gonna be worried about what she's over there doing, and she was
Right.
working
You're not even going to the same school.
everything." I said, "Why can't y'all just stay friends a little while longer?"
Yeah, it
You
may
know,
work out when you're older and ready to get
I said,
married.
y'all got this summer fling going on and everything. That summer love. What's that song that Will Smith used to say? Summertime. So
Yeah.
you know, so I just like, bro. But then he
What'd he
asked her,
do?
and she come from a nice family. I know her parents really nice and everything. So I hope it works for a long, long time.
Wait,
And I
so
was
they're dating now? He probably hates that you're putting him on blast like this right now, but sure.
right. So they're dating. She, what I'm saying,
Okay.
yeah, she's at
Well,
all.
maybe we'll be laughing one day when they're married and happy and
Yeah,
I'm still single.
oh gosh, no, I don't know the
I have
shambles.
no judgment. Although I will say I look back and one of my biggest regrets is going to college with a boyfriend, but clearly didn't
Oh,
work.
you work that out. How long did you date the guy while you was at Auburn?
My whole freshman year, and we were not both at Auburn. And then, speaking of putting someone on blast, apologies, he came to Auburn. He changed schools, came to Auburn for sophomore year.
For you?
Um, I was out of town for a weekend, first semester of sophomore year, and he cheated on me. And I got a Facebook message from the girl who was a complete stranger, did not know her, found me on Facebook and told me that My boyfriend had cheated while I was out of town. So obviously broke up. Like cheating's like a non-negotiable. Black and white in my opinion. Like you cheat, we're done. Goodbye, sir. So that's how that happened. But then my entire freshman year, all of the like socials and all this stuff, like I was very shut off to even making guy friends because I didn't want it to be misconstrued that I was flirting or that I was open to being someone's date to something, because like I wasn't doing that. And that's hard to recreate your sophomore year when everybody's kind of like found their friend group and whatever. So it made it harder for me, and I think I probably missed out on just growing a little bit and like putting myself out there more because I was being so loyal to something that didn't end up working out and honestly got me really done wrong.
Well, it's two sides to that. See, I told you it's a great episode today, everybody.
I
We got
also told you I didn't know where it was headed. So
going on, but there's two sides to this. One, because you was raised right, you're taught to be loyal and be
yeah,
committed to what you're supposed to be committed to.
right,
So you can never tell yourself that you're in a situation now because of something that you was committed to.
right.
It doesn't work that way, because if you do what you're supposed to do, you're doing the right things in life, you're doing it to the best of your ability,
It comes back to you.
it's protection. So
Yeah,
what you was doing was being protected from something later on in life. You date this guy
true.
4 or 5 more years, you get married, then all of a sudden he cheats on you. It's a total
Oh,
different game.
him cheating on me, he did me a favor, like for real. We never were going to work out to begin with. My point is being dead set on holding on to a high school relationship when you go to college. Like college is, and it's so hard for you to really believe when you're 17, 18 years old that 4 years go by so freaking fast. You're going to have the time of your life. And then if this relationship is meant to be, you can revisit it. But having the opportunity to go and meet people and be open to a new experience in college and then see where life takes you. Like we should have just done that and avoided a lot of the drama.
Well, 10 years ago, that happened, 10 years ago, 10 years ago, 11 years ago?
I was sophomore year, so 2011. So like 13, 14.
13 years ago.
Mhm.
So you're getting close.
Close to what?
It's usually around year 15 that you actually meet the person if you didn't get married, if you didn't meet the person in college and right out of college, then typically you meet that person in your mid 30s
Okay.
for a woman.
I'm knocking on that door. Not really. I'm 31.
But I will say this, there is a lot of girls, and my wife has a lot of friends that are like great women, like got great jobs,
Yeah.
love God,
Yep.
like exciting, come from good families,
Funny.
funny, and they all cannot link with someone,
It's because men are not those things.
right? Because the thing about a man is, right, you're born a male as a man when you come out.
Yes.
It's a choice to become a man at some point in life. So
Mm,
a lot of guys haven't made the choice and the decision to
to
become
be
a
a
man.
man. Mhm.
They still want to be a boy.
That is
And
so freaking true. I
so
have a
that's going on.
group of girlfriends here in Nashville, and literally, like, I can't say enough good things about them. And everyone is having like the hardest time, even having like dates that are enjoyable. Like, it is just, but it's also, the day and age that we're in where everything is done on your phone and no one really has the same communication skills, the same, I don't know, desire for monogamy. Like it's just like kind of antiquated now, and a lot of females are still wanting that for a variety of reasons. And so it's a slippery slope. But yes, that is one thing about college that so many kids think like, no, I met my soulmate at 15 and we're going to get married if we wait through college. And then you look back and you're like, why did I waste college on you? Like that was so dumb. But
I just,
nonetheless,
who knew it took me 40 years to get married? So,
yeah.
you know,
And it was
uh,
worth the wait.
all right, it's worth the wait. So that's
You
what I'm
got the right
saying.
one.
We can live the next 50 something years together. We can be in our
Yeah.
50s. So what I'm saying, it's better to wait to get the right one than just rush to say, I
To
just
have
need
anyone.
to have somebody.
So true.
So
Ain't gonna be
enjoy,
me.
enjoy it. Buy your house, buy your car, live your life.
Go
Don't
to
wait.
Italy.
Don't wait to get stuff. Because I'm wait till I get married to get this. No, don't do
Yeah.
that. Live your life.
A
That
lot
person
of people do that.
in place. Right.
Very true.
Speaking of dating, Auburn has been dating a lot of prospects lately.
Yes. Excellent segue. Let's talk
Yes.
about it.
Got a huge commitment from Eric. Trying to think his last name, but big time
Why do
from
I want to say Thompson?
Enterprise High School in Alabama. Um, Huge player. Uh, this guy gonna do some great things for Auburn. Safety came down between us and Georgia, and he chose to come to Auburn. So that was a huge commitment. Auburn also hosted some big time recruits over the weekend.
Yep.
Um, and everything. So I think right now we're ranked the number 7 or 6 class.
6. We're 6 right now.
We're number 6, and we're probably 3 more commitments away from being a top 5 class, and
Let's
probably
go.
commitments away from being a top 3 class. So this staff and everybody involved has been doing an outstanding job over the summer because things have changed. Next year signing day is in June, so the 2026 class was signed in June next year, and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, it's coming up fast because my nephew will be in the 2026 class.
Yeah.
I said, dude, like you really got to start going to your visits and start going because it's gonna come on you fast.
Right.
Um, so this December will be the class, and in February, then our next signing class will be in June. So a lot of stuff changes next year. So revenue sharing starts in August 2025. No one knows exactly what that's going to consist of, what it's going to look like. Everyone will find out more in the spring. Signing day has now been bumped up from December to June.
Okay.
So before a kid even plays his senior year, he have been already signed with his school. Like, how do we get here?
Yeah. And why?
And I don't really like the fact of moving that up to June before a kid plays his senior year because I guess one, they can just stay focused on their senior year. They're not having a lot of distractions. So it helps if you're a high school coach and you're coaching players. But man, like sometimes you may not be ready to make that decision. So I wanted
Yeah.
to sign in December or whatever. So, but most kids want to sign when others are signing. So we'll see how all of this translate over the next. But Auburn, as you know, has been flirting with a lot of big time players.
Yeah.
And everything. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. This is a huge month for Auburn, and before August gets here.
You feel confident about this class, though.
Yeah, I feel very confident. I feel
That's great.
I was down there last 2 weeks, and I got a chance to see a lot of these recruits. I got a chance to watch a lot of them in action, the 7-on-7
Okay.
thing. And when I tell you, like, they're going after the right type of guys.
Good.
Like, there's not a player in the state of Alabama that's a top guy that Auburn is not as his top 2.
As they should.
And we haven't been able to say that in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
3 years, whatever, 3-4 years. But
Yeah.
we are now getting the same talent as Georgia, same talent as Bama, same talent as LSU. So for us, I just think that it's going to be Auburn is not that far away from being elite status real quick.
That's where the current ranking right now of us being number 6, the only SEC teams that we are behind right now are Georgia and Alabama, which I think when you're looking at what the SEC has been in the past few years, you've got Ole Miss, LSU, Tennessee that have really gained a lot of traction in recruiting. And so to see this, it's almost a bit of a surprise. But it also goes hand in hand with what we've also talked about, that it seems like a lot of coaches are almost having to pick which one they're putting more emphasis on, the transfer portal or high school recruiting. And Hugh was very clear in his commitment to development, and he still thinks that you're building them through the high school ranks. And that's the only way to really sustain long-term success instead of just having the flash in the pan Joe Burrow year, Cam Newton year. That's not sustainable success. And some coaches are going to prioritize that. And I certainly think that's an indicator of it. When you look at the in-state stuff, I think it's really interesting, though, that Alabama is staying where they are, because I think a lot of people really thought it was Saban, like that it was these kids wanted to play for Saban, be coached under Saban. And I think Kalen DeBoer is a great coach. I said when he got hired, I thought it was a fantastic get for Alabama. But it is surprising to me that we're really not seeing much of a drop-off when the legend that is Nick Saban has moved on.
Well, the thing is, Coach DeGore was just in a national championship game.
True.
So, a lot of players are like, hey, especially if you're an offensive guy, like looking at Penix, looking at, the receivers that put up big numbers in that system, are saying like, hey, can it work in the SEC and
Right.
and everything. So a lot of guys like, hey, we're staying on board until we see differently. And
True.
and from a defensive standpoint, they've had guys there for years. It's just been stacked because Alabama
Yeah.
does what stacked 5-star to 5-star. So there are certain guys that now their turn has come to play, and they're like, "Well, I'm not leaving now that my time has come and it's
Right.
my chance to play." So I just think a lot of it is they're still going to be up there just because tradition wise,
Yeah.
always been football strong house. and
True.
and I think like Auburn for a long time was known as a powerhouse because in this state there's no NFL teams. You got to
Right.
like one or the other. And Auburn is not a hard sell. We sit right in the heart on 85. We're
Mhm.
not that far from Atlanta Airport. You can fly from Montgomery Airport or you can go to Birmingham. Either
Yeah.
direction you go is about the same distance. So you can choose 3 different ways to get there.
Right.
And if you think about it, the school, it's a very nice, pretty school, and it has a
Stunning.
lot going for itself. It has that family dynamics and all of that. So it's not a hard sell. Auburn just has to get back to winning.
Yeah.
Once Auburn starts back winning, which now we're winning in recruiting, and we haven't even won on the football field yet.
That's saying
So,
something.
so once we start winning on the football field and we're able to win in recruiting, now you're gonna have a chance to be in the playoffs. And
Yeah.
all you can ask for is have a chance to get in the playoffs every year to compete for a national championship. That's everyone's goal is to get to the playoffs.
So true.
I feel like, we're definitely trending in the right direction.
Me too.
Just as a whole, it's not so shocking that Bama, the NIL has kind of helped them out in a little ways,
True.
keeping some of their big time recruits, so the job is going to be how do they sustain them after this first year.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I also think it has a lot to do with guys looking to their left and right and seeing, okay, who am I doing this with? And I think that Auburn has already kind of started that trajectory with this class. So you've got a guy like Perry and um, Cam and those guys. Uh, Current, big names, Juju being one of them, obviously. When asked about Auburn, they're like, "Well, I see the class that they just signed, and a lot of offensive weapons, and I know what they're capable of." So I think that a lot of that is also in play, even for a school like Alabama, looking at the roster and the guys around you and being like, "Oh, so it's not just about the coach; it's also about the caliber of talent that we've accrued that are going to help me attain what I want." But I don't think that Auburn is out of those conversations anymore, which is such a relief because for a while we weren't even in the conversation.
Well, everything that was in the news was negativity, right? So for so many
Yeah.
people, and you
People
know,
didn't want to be a part of it because it was
right,
drama.
right. And now I think we're all speaking the same language. We're saying the
Agreed.
same things. And if I'm a quarterback in high school right now, why wouldn't you want to sign with Auburn? Because you just had the number one receiver class in history of Auburn.
Yep.
He's got 2 top 10 receivers nationally.
Yep.
And Bryce Kane is a top 100 type of guy, and then he's your third. Then Simmons is another big time athlete as well. And
Yeah.
then you turn around and we're in line to land 2 more five-star receivers. So I'm like, dude, you got tight ends to throw the ball to. You got running backs. You got
Yeah.
receivers. Like, you're gonna have a defense. I'm just
It's
like,
all there.
why hasn't a big name quarterback gone ahead and jumped into the ship at Auburn? I know we signed last year, we signed one last year and everything, but nowadays you got to sign, Walker White
Multiple.
signed last year, but you got to sign now most because you don't know who's going to transfer. You don't know who's going to translate to college,
Yep. Who
So,
could get hurt?
right, all these type of things because you're always one player away at that position, not being in the playoffs or
Yep.
still staying to be in the playoffs. So,
100%.
so we'll see what happens here over the next couple of months. But I do think something will have to start spinning here really soon. So you'll start seeing a couple of guys start to jump in here soon.
Okay. Insider info. We love to hear it. Well, if we don't have any more random AF topics to cover, that's going to do it for us this week on Believe in Everything Auburn. As always, thank you so much for listening and following along. Jason and I greatly appreciate all of our listeners who stick with us through the ebbs and flows of this crazy life. But make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. You can get a notification every time we release an episode. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a convenient little icon bar on the bottom now that shows you everywhere that we're available: Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music. I really don't know what all of those are, but iHeart, I recognize that one. So make sure you find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also watch us every week or whenever we do them on Believe's YouTube channel if you prefer to have a video. So hang with us, everybody. Enjoy your summer, and we will be back soon to cover whatever happens between now and then. Have a great week. War Eagle.
Enjoy the Stanley Cup.
Oh, right. That's still going on. I digress.